Days in the garage, we idolize the grease-covered jeans, smell of gasoline, and most of all, the countless hours behind the handlebars of your very first bike. For 12 years, the dirt has been the place for generations to come together and legends to relive their glory days. This year's no different. No cash prizes, no rewards, just the chance you get to cover your friends, rivals, and heroes with a face full of dirt. This is a tradition for the young and old. This is a 3-day party. 3 days of racing you call a day in the dirt. Hello everybody and welcome to the Lucas Oil Motorsports Hour. I'm David Bailey and I'll be your host for a day in the dirt. As the sun rises on day one, everyone is anticipating a great weekend. Riders from all different disciplines of motorsports come together to create a unique vibe and an experience these racers will never forget. Waking up early in the morning, smelling the coffee, hearing generators running, and who's going to start their bike first? As the nerves build and the final preps are made, this will be the first time that Day in the Dirt has been held at Pala Raceway, the final round of the Lucas Oil Nationals. And for those in attendance at the National and got to watch the pros, today is their turn to go out and compete with the pros.
Hey guys, welcome to Day in the Dirt. SoCal Reunion Racing has a Fair Friday race going on. We're about 1 minute away from the start, but I just wanted to let you know a couple of the things. I'll sit there and try to get your bike started, try to get off the track so we can get the next row underway. Fortunately, we have just 3 rows.
How about it? Day in the Dirt. 2000, what are we in? 10. Basically, the only way for me to get my ride time today was to enter the north-south. So you had to pick a bib, whether you're Indian Dunes, Saddleback, or Carlsbad. But I'm really from Kansas City, so I just picked Saddleback because it was right in the middle of Indian Dunes and Carlsbad.
It's cool because all the guys that come out, you remember them as kids, you know, and you haven't seen them for a while. And Lance Sloan and just everybody that they raced the dunes, and then we were always Saddleback and Carlsbad. And this year it was fun. You know, Kehoe is always the man to beat.
You basically have to start with your hand on your helmet in neutral. But of course, you try to put your hand as close to the clutch as you can, and you basically just slam it in gear and try to grab the bar and keep it from looping out.
They came back to the race shop when I was working with Ed, Troy, and Kenny and said, hey, you're going to race for me at Day in the Dirt. And I was like, all right, I guess so. And I ended up getting the whole shot. And Kehoe got by me right away. And then Emig and the Ronnie Lachine were right there. And I was still trying to figure the track out. And then actually right when I probably figured the track out, I was pretty tired. So I better step it up for tomorrow and Sunday.
You know, my arms got a little bit tired. I have milk cows, and that's my job, and you would think that if I was milking cows all day that my hands would be a lot stronger than they are, but the clutch and the brake lever just made them a little bit too tired. So 2 times I had to kick it and lost a lot of spots.
That was a big win for me. that was fun. A lot of friends out there in the North-South Showdown. It was fun. And I wasn't sure who was behind me. I had a decent start, and I knew that Emig was back there, and Machine, there were some fast guys in there, so I just wanted to get out as far as I could.
I've ridden with Eric for the last decade. I know that he's still in great shape, and he hauls that guys fast. And so you just never know about the other variables with the other riders that are in there. I was happy to get the start that I did, but I could see Eric pulling away.
Oh, that last lap, I was kind of relaxed, and I followed a couple guys do some really tight stuff where one guy almost stalled, and it really slowed me down, and I think the guy in second got right up on me at the checkers there.
I wasn't prepared this year, so I think I finished 4th. Somebody, Lapper I think I fell, but it was fun just racing again. That's kind of the best race for me, just because all the guys that we used to race against are out there. There's nobody else that, you know, is putting around just to have fun. It's kind of all the old school guys, and they're basically all turned pros pretty much. So it was a good race for me this year. I had a lot of fun.
The good old days. Hollywood was full of bright lights, foreign cars, and glamorous faces. At its very core, a band of die-hard motorcycle enthusiasts. With inspiration from heroes such as Steve McQueen and Malcolm Smith, stuntman and directors alike fled to the desert to partake in friendly competition, camping, and most of all, escaping from the confines of busy work, bustling streets, and the unrelenting schedules of city life. Work being the furthest from their minds, Hollywood's top set out to make something that wasn't just about the competition.
Well, back in '98, a buddy and I, Jimmy Roberts, we were stunt guys working on films and stuff together, and you know, we're moto freaks. And we were coming back from Glen Helen, a race, and we're thinking, gosh, I wish there was some races like the old days when we were growing up. I grew up watching guys like Jane Roberts, which just, I mean, when I was little, he was God. I remember watching that guy just tear it across the desert, and he was one of my idols. Steve McQueen was a good friend of ours. Him and Bruce Brown, I think on any Sunday is definitely, bar none, the best motorcycle movie ever made. Those two guys told a story and brought it to the masses, and it made motorcycles cool. We just thought, how can we bring back that essence? Let's try to throw a race ourselves. We decided, you know what, let's do it the day after Thanksgiving. We sent out this invitation that had McQueen on it, Bud Eakins, all these, you know, old-time legends, you know. Let's just throw it out there and invite all of our buddies to come out and do a little moto for the day. We were expecting, well, we were hoping to get 200 to come out, and about 1,000 came through the gate that day. We lost our home, and that was LACR up in Palmdale. We were shooken up about that. We heard about it about 3 months ago, after we already started prepping and everything like that. And, so I drove around Southern California looking for the spot, and came across, you know, Paula, and I just thought it was a great venue, pretty area, casino across the street, and we thought we'd give it a try. It's 3 days of hanging with your friends, camping out, telling war stories around the campfire, and just the camaraderie is what makes this event so special. You can be in 20th place battling with your buddy, and that's all that matters, as long as you beat your buddy that's in 21st, you know. It's become a huge family. It's getting people from motocross, auto racing, surfing, jet skiing, I mean, the list goes on, mountain biking, whatever, to come out and spend a weekend with your buddies and a bunch of dirt bikes. And let me tell you something, Steve's tailgate on his truck would have been the first one to drop at a day in the dirt that morning, ready to race.
That's just it. A day in the dirt is more than just a race. It's something that inspires and encourages those who are involved. It gives someone a chance to be a hero, as well as learn from those who do it best. Captain America, 7-time world champion Jeff Ward, has a deeply rooted history written in the dirt.
Back in the days when there was really no mini-cycle racing, my dad and a couple people decided to start an association to race mini bikes. It was in the parking lot, Saddleback Park, around trash cans and chalk lines. And then it started growing, and then Saddleback finally kind of made a track over in the back there. It was kind of a TT type thing to hold races. So I was at the early beginning of it, and it just started growing. Was just blazing around, and there was this guy, there was some wheelies up the hill, and then there was that guy they had on the Sunday with the trials bike that did the wheelie up over the top, and the one girl looked back, you know, and as he was still going, and so I saw this guy doing it, so I go, I'll show him how to do it. So I did this wheelie, and I did it again about 5 times, and I just took off. I never even talked, I just left, and then when the movie came out, we went to watch it, and we were just sitting there, and all of a sudden, there I am on the screen, you know, doing the wheelie, and we had no idea that was even put in, and didn't sign anything, there it was, so it was kind of cool to get involved in that, and not knowing what it would be today and what that movie would do. It was like the beginning of the motorcycle era. And that movie really portrayed what motorcycling was all about in the 70s. It was super cool. Yeah, I mean, a day in the dirt, that's just a fun weekend with all the family. I mean, I'm racing against Jeremy and, you know, Andrew Short's out there. There's Brian Hughes. There's just tons of guys that I didn't race against in my career, and then you get to go out there and have fun with them. And then there's people in the industry that would never get to be on the starting line with all of us. They get to go out there and, you know, and we blow by them, and that's right. That makes the whole weekend just being, or even to hold you off for a corner because they got in your way, and it seems like everybody just really enjoys it. And the funnest part is after the race and hanging around the campfire and walking around, and all the kids riding their bicycles, and just something we've been doing for such a long time now. There's 2 events a year that I look forward to. One's Mammoth and one's Day in the Dirt. So that makes my year right there. I started out just, maybe just another race, another reason to get out on the weekend, but it's become way more than that. It's just a huge get-together, and it just keeps growing, and more celebrities come, and Casey Kane, Paul Tracy, just because they know now it's not a race, it's there to have fun and get a day on the dirt bike and try not to get hurt. Tracks are safe. So it's just a weekend that I just so look forward to, because I don't ride enough during the year that I know we got that set aside, and I'm going to get on the bike for 3 days and be tired at the end of it. So it's it's just one thing to plan out, and the kids are, they love going there and playing around all day.
As time went on, the event evolved, and the Woodstock of racing exploded. The race, as they called it, became a place where one could live the dream, race side by side with a legend, where one could be the legend. Day in the Dirt is known for its friendly atmosphere and eccentricities. From the painting of the motorhomes to campfire stories, from the dogfight and the coup de grace race to the team races, a Day in the Dirt provides excitement from every angle.
The mix of people that come here, the film industry component, and some of these crossover sport guys, and then the regular working guys like myself, really creates a great atmosphere.
At the heart of Day in the Dirt's challenging yet carefree atmosphere is a tightly knit web of family and friends that all share one thing in common: a love for dirt bikes. From mini bike races to the merciless coup de grace, there is something for the entire family. Whether new to the crowd or a seasoned veteran, each and every one finds their place within the Day of the Dirt family.
All right, so let's start off.
How come Wardy got to go in the shade? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, we came with the whole family. I have 3 sons. You can see we got a whole line of bikes here. I spend about a week preparing all the mini bikes for all the boys. I think that we came to the 2nd Day in the Dirt, and now every year since then. All of my kids came the first time to a Day in the Dirt in a stroller, I think, so it's something that they really have known their whole life. They look forward to it all year. Maybe about 20 years ago, I was just riding my mountain bike up in the hills, and then I met Troy and became friends with him. And we just had a nice friendship for all these years now, and I saw that these guys were having so much fun on dirt bikes that I wanted to get involved too. It's a little bit tough for me out here. I didn't really ride till I was 25 years old, but I still like it anyways. You know, a lot of people compare this or call it motocross Woodstock, and I think that's an accurate description. The mix of people that come here, the film industry component, and some of these crossover sport guys, and then the regular working guys like myself, really creates a great atmosphere when the racing is done in the evening times and in the morning. It's something that the kids really love. We play as good as we can and spend time with my buddies, and they're making jokes here behind the camera. No, just excited to be back for another year, and I see a lot of familiar faces that I only see at Day in the Dirt, and I think everybody's equally as excited to be here as we are.
Okay, the Stunt GP is a team race that at first it was primarily for stunt guys, and now it's huge. You know, we have like 100 teams out there.
Brought to you by Stunts Unlimited. Legends continue to live on in the honorary Stunt GP. Just as Steve McQueen rode through the arid desert, the film community and enthusiasts alike joined forces in the team event.
Here we are Saturday morning, right before the stunt race, and I've been looking forward to this one. This is what we trained off the last 6 months for, and you know, I'm gonna give Troy a good whooping today. I'm teaming up with my buddy, Scotty Waugh, and we're gonna come out swinging.
The team race today was a good one. I got off to a pretty good start. I think I was third, and McGrath was in front of me, and then Tyler Keith, and I was running third. And those guys were going really fast. The track was smooth and wide open. It was a really good time.
I got to get my bearings together out there. It's hard to go one lap fast.
I mean, how cool is that? Like, to share a racetrack, a rider of my caliber, to share a racetrack with Jeremy is just, it's unreal. You know, he blows by me and I'm strong. Kind of cool.
You know, I got to team up with Neil. He just signed Suzuki Brett Metcalf. And, we got off to a good start. He didn't get any practice, so I started, and then we ended up getting into the lead. And then I had some brake problems, and then we switched out, and we switched bikes and rode his. And I wanted to load it in my van and take it home with me, but it was enjoyable to ride, that's for sure.
I was behind Troy Lee, and he made a mistake in the turn. I grabbed a handful and loosed it on him, and I don't know what happened to him after that. But hey, it's fun out there.
You know what? We got to make sure they stop and they hand off something. So my wife came up with, you know, why don't you do a hair bungee or something like that? And I looked at her going, well, you know, that might work. So she went out and bought a couple hundred of them, and we've been using them ever since.
Yeah, you had to kind of work it out before we started racing what someone was going to do, and usually you hold your hand out and someone pulls the scrunchie off, and yeah, it's fun. It's definitely different, and it's a good way to end the year for everyone.
Yeah, somebody actually stopped in front of me. I swerved around him to take off, and then somebody else was coming in to switch, and I had to swerve to miss him. So it was just, you're kind of looking at all your angles there. It's about like getting on the 405 at rush hour, you know?
I was like way more tired in that race than I was in this one I just got off, because you're sprinting for a lap, like as fast as you can. When you come in, you're sitting there, and just about the time your heart rate comes back to normal, your teammate comes around and you got to go again.
I think we finished up second, so I mean it was not too bad. It was we would have liked to have won, but next year.
My teammate and I, we ended up fourth, and I think I was the weak link in our team. I think I let him down, so there was a couple really good, fast guys, good teams, and I had a really good time out there. Finishing fourth, I'm proud. It was good. It was fun.
You know, we got stunt guys like Mick Rogers, big time stunt guy, second unit director, and what's cool is we get to be out on the track with these legends like McGrath, Ward, and then those guys get to kind of think, you know, it's kind of cool. We get to come out here with these guys that we look at on the big screen, and it just, you know, becomes this whole, like, it's kind of a vibe that, you know, we all kind of look forward to.
As the years passed, new generations came to enjoy the atmosphere that Day in the Dirt has to offer. And some of those who once survived not only the trials of the coup de grace, but also the demands of professional motocross, have graduated to serve a different purpose. 7-time national champion and Hall of Famer Ricky Johnson has other things to worry about than the competition.
Another day in the dirt. Just go out and cruise around, have fun. Best thing about it, get to go ride with my buddies. I got my kids on the track. I got guys that I grew up racing with. Scott Bell. Got the Penhall kids up there. You got Will Harper back there. And you got the greatest stuntman and some of the greatest moto guys of all time out here. It's one thing we have in common is motorcycles. So track's perfect. Go out and have some fun.
Day in the Dirt is a time for us to get together with friends. You know, if it's Jeff Ward, Sean Palmer, Troy Lee, Stitch, you know, all these different guys that you don't get to see all the time. Also, you know, it's a tight-knit community between the stunt players and the motorcycle racers. It's kind of cool. A lot of generations coming out to have fun. Well, I got 3 duties. You know, one is I'm here as a rider. You know, I want to go out and make sure that I stay safe and sound. But the main thing is now I got to take care of Luke. You know, he's got some bumps and bruises, crashed a couple times.
got to make sure that Cassidy's ready. She pretty much just wants to go out and ride. She doesn't think about tear-offs, about gas or anything, but she did fill her gas up this morning, so pretty proud of that. In yesterday's race, she was out with the vintage guys, and some of the guys are riding a little, I feel a little too aggressive against the little girls and stuff, but then again, I'm partial because it is my girl out there.
It's hard to say what this event means to me. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's the one motor race I do every year. So it's just a big goofy event for everybody. Like this weekend, I dressed up for the vintage race, and me and Riley Harper will be dressing up in women's gear for the Moto Go-Go. It's all about good times and seeing your friends that you don't see all year. We all got busy schedules, but it's good to get everyone together for a little bit and just make sure that we all hang out for a little bit, because we're all running in 800 different directions. So it's a good time. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm a little on the injured side right now, but I'm making my body work with it so that I don't miss this race.
Pretty much the same thing. Just see old friends. It's like the one time I ride a motorcycle, so I get to have fun on a motorcycle and see old friends and just have fun.
Well, when I first started coming, I hadn't ridden in a long time, and then I got more competitive, and then I started trying to team up with the right guys to win races and do all the different stuff. And so now it's more about the camaraderie. It's seeing the kids have fun. It's watching the generations change. I was talking to Kenny Alexander's wife, and she's telling me, God, it's crazy. When we started this, the kids were in diapers. Now they're the young, hot girls running around in the Moto Go-Go, the Go-Go skirts, and handing out the flyers and all the different stuff. So it's just watching the next generation pick up where we left off. And but the one thing we have in common is we're all out enjoying motorcycles.
I mean, realistically, had it been another lap, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I was so tired at the end.
That's definitely something that I'll remember for a fair while, and I wish the race was a little longer, then I might have been able to pass.
Though many old friends were able to put their physical fitness and endurance levels to the test in the Classic Reunion race, the Pro-Am is where dreams come true. For many, the chance to race alongside legends is a chance to become a legend.
It was exciting for me. Not many people get to say they got to race with Jeremy. And sitting on the line next to Jeremy was, it's intimidating. He's won a lot of races and done a lot of things for the sport.
I got a great start, and I knew it was going to be tough. Thank God it was 30 minutes and not 40. I mean, I'm not even sure I can handle. Well, I couldn't handle 30. I was so tired at the end.
I'd be out in the corners, and I kind of look up every once in a while, and I'd see him and Strang battling. I was like, oh, this guy, keep pushing. I just kept trying and trying, but it just didn't have enough time, I guess, and wasn't able to catch him, but it'd be cool. I mean, he is Jeremy McGrath, the king.
I could tell the last two laps he was getting tired. He made a couple of mistakes, and I'm used to racing long races, so 40 minutes was not too bad for me. And I wasn't going to stop a wheel and try and take him out. If he would have fell over or something, I would have passed him then.
I mean, realistically, had it been another lap, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I was contemplating at that point, trying to figure out if I need to let him by, or can I suffer a little bit more, or what was I going to do? And when the white flag came out, I got a little extra energy and was able to put a couple lappers between us and pull out the win.
That's definitely something that I'll remember for a fair while, and it was exciting. I mean, I wish the race was a little longer, then I might have been able to pass him, but I was happy to finish second behind him for sure.
I caught all of them except McGrath and Strang. They were just a little farther ahead of me by the time the checkered flag rolled around. I wish we could have battled. I really wanted to, but maybe one day McGrath and I can meet up and do some riding. That'd be really awesome.
I mean, as a kid, I always read American magazines and that sort of stuff, and seeing the Day in the Dirt in the magazines, it just looks like a fun race where everyone goes there to have fun, not to work, and it's not a job for anyone, so everyone goes to have fun, and I think that's the main goal of that race is to everyone have a really good time.
Troy just has a venue of all kinds of different racers and riders, and everybody just wants to come out and have fun and battle together, and it's the Day in the Dirt. I mean, it's fun, it's cool, and couldn't have a better time for it or a better place. I mean, the track's awesome, and it's just great. I'll be back.
That's great. Though once again finishing on top, to win Day in the Dirt wasn't the main goal on Jeremy McGrath's plate.
Got the family of kids, all of our friends are here, and my kids and their kids, and we just took them out on the 50 track. Man, that's harder work than actually racing. The tracks kind of had some mud holes and stuff. They got stuck in the mud, and yeah, it's all worth it though. I mean, this is what it's about for us these days, you know? The 30-minute drive doesn't hurt either. So, and you know what? The trophies are cool. I was retired really from racing professionally full-time by the time I even had kids. So it's kind of neat for me just knowing that they get to watch me ride a little bit, even though it's not, you know, a supercross or whatever. But they almost missed the start today, so I didn't see them until I was cruising around the track and I saw them. But Josh was too close to me. I couldn't really pay too much attention to my kids that were on the side of the track. Rowan, my oldest, she's into it. She loves motocross and all that. So we watch all that stuff on TV, and I mean, just to have get the finish line and have her kind of come up and sit with me on my bike, that's cool. I mean, not a lot of dads can say they do that stuff. So I didn't even know if I was going to race today. Realistically, I was just kind of coming out to have fun, and I knew my kids were going to come out, and we're going to see Troy and all our friends, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to race, and yeah, to win, it's cool. I'm not racing tomorrow. No. I think I'll be paying tomorrow for the exertion I put out today.
We wanted to, the first year, let's do some kind of a helmet to kind of set the mood and kind of honor, you know, these guys and McQueen and stuff. So it's been super cool. I mean, they work on it for a couple months out, and the paint shop hates us.
Hour is brought to you by Troy Lee Designs. One look is all it takes to make something unique and stand out from the crowd. Just as James Dean popularized cup Levi's and black Chucks, Troy Lee set out with a vision that would not only honor the legends that raced before, but also be the visionary for the youthful front joining in on the party.
The first year, before we had this race, I called up Troy Lee. Or I tried to call up Troy. And I didn't get, they said, well, we don't really sponsor races or something like that. So I said, okay. So the next year, he heard from some people how cool it was. And I got a phone call from Troy. He said, come on down, let's have a meeting.
You know, when I met Kenny and Jimmy Roberts and Mick Rogers and his whole group up there, man, it was just, I could tell it was really good people and had a lot of heart and soul. And, you know, we all just kind of put our heads together and made a really cool, fun event.
We wanted to, the first year, let's do some kind of a helmet to kind of set the mood and kind of honor, you know, these guys and McQueen and stuff. So we come with the design, and we thought, you know, so he painted up 3 helmets. Well, the next year, everyone wanted them. So we started doing 30 helmets. Then it became almost 50 helmets. And it just keeps on going and going. And, you know, every year we kind of come up with a different look, a different theme. And it's been super cool. I mean, they work on it for a couple months out, and the paint shop hates us.
You know, I've gone where the helmets have just gone where they're, you know, $2,000, $3,000 paint jobs, you know. And let's go back old school and make them look like they're just sign paint, you know, like my dad used to do them, you know. So we went back and just kind of did the old Von Dutch sign painter look where he just grabbed a brush and, you know, flat black helmets with a big number on the side and a couple sponsors, and that's how they used to run them back then, man. Half the time they were done with electrical tape, and they duct tape the visor on. So that's the look we went for.
He's become a good friend, and his family and just his whole crew down there at, you know, down here at TLD is just second to none. I mean, they've got a great sense of humor, just a great vibe, and a great energy. And we've been throwing one hell of a party for the last, 12 years.
Race bikes all day. We play hard and we work hard, man. And you know, when the gate does drop, we out there, we all give it. You know, we probably shouldn't give it 100%. We try to back it down a little bit, but when you get next to your buddy and you have an opportunity to throw rocks at him, when you retire, it's a lot of fun. And then to come back and have a beer next to the campfire with your kids and family, it's an awesome event. Hope to see you there next year.
With the not-so-serious nature comes great memories. This event not only provides great racing and good friends, but it reminds us of what life is all about, the party. Throughout the course of its running, its racers, young and old, have all come away with their own exciting tales to tell.
The best day in the dirt ever was the year that we had probably 80-mile-per-hour winds, 3 inches of rain, all came down and hit us. I think it was McGrath's first vet race ever.
We had to shut the race down, and we all went and had a couple beers, and the next thing we know, we fired up the mini bikes, man, and next thing we know, we had about 20 mini bikes going wide open through a blizzard here and rainstorm and everything else, and it was a time to remember.
I remember, I don't know if it was Paul, yeah, it was Paul. He went behind the motorhomes and he just came out and he was just in his underwear. So he was running around, and at that time, Paul wasn't in the best shape. He was a little overweight. So that, I don't know if he pulled it up, you know, a little G-string style, but it was pretty humorous at the time.
So of course I wanted to race today because I was, you know, out there screwing around on my mini bike. But my mom wouldn't let me race. So I had to sit. I'm sitting in the motorhome watching because all these guys are coming flying around this turn and just hit these hay bales and it's rocking our whole motorhome. You know, there's people getting taken out right in front of my motorhome. And just, you know, all this stuff you just. It's funny to watch. It's one of those things you have to be there to experience it. Words just don't do it justice.
It was that was probably one of my most memorable and good times and worst at the same time. And, you know, I'll never forget that one. Out of all of them, that's the one that still, you know, I leave there now, and I think that was a good time.
We tried to emulate that a couple years afterwards, but nobody would get that crazy, and then it kind of all stopped. But so that was the funnest, I think, the funnest time. It was just spur of the moment, and it happened. It was muddy and cold, and that was a good memory.
So we decided, let's come up with another team race for Sunday, to call it the Moto A Go-Go. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it is the biggest team race in the world.
The Lucas Oil Motorsports Hour is brought to you by InStyle. As with close family, there comes a little competition. Instead of fighting over girls and hair gel, what better way to challenge one another than to throw it down in the dirt?
So both you guys go back to the start line, all right? And then we'll have fuel there ready for you. Yeah, I'm gonna cook. You want eggs? Don't be a girl.
The Day in the Dirt, you know, since Kenny and Troy have been involved with this, you know, it's been a big thing to my boys. I've never raced it because it was kind of after I retired. It's really close to the Baja 1000, which is in November, and of course Thanksgiving is the same weekend. You really burn out, and you come home, and my kids, it didn't really matter to them. They just wanted to go to the Day in the Dirt. You know, the history of Day in the Dirt is, you know, Malcolm Smith, of course, you know, he's been a hero of mine forever. In fact, you know, I have so much respect for him, and I remember Steve McQueen racing, you know, at Elsinore Grand Prix, and you know, your assumed name, and you know, the list goes on. It's just, you know, the legends get deeper and deeper, and so it's really cool to be able to spend time with these guys and throw a little racing in there. And it's what amazes me is how good those legends are on a motorcycle still, like Kehoe and Wardy, you know, and RJ and Troy, and the list goes on, and it's fun for me to watch, and that's what we do. You know, we enjoy some racing, but you know, the stories are probably the best thing for me about Day in the Dirt. I do this because my kids love it, and it keeps them out of trouble, and this is their passion, just as it was my passion. It was my dad's passion, my brother's passion. And you know, when it runs through the veins like that, it's, you know, it's something that will never be away from you. You may switch gears and move off into something else like I did, but racing is a passion for a lot of us.
Fast times and good fun is what Day in the Dirt is all about. It's not as much about racing as it is about having fun while doing it. And the Moto A Go-Go is just the event to prove it. Deep into the second day of motocross's Woodstock, riders are tired, weary, and feeling less agile than the day before. Despite their current conditions, everyone looks forward to the excitement of the Moto A Go-Go team race.
Gosh, we got to have, everyone said, let's have another team race because I want to race with this other guy. So we decided, let's come up with another team race for Sunday, call it the Moto A Go-Go. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it is the biggest team race in the world.
Some good racing. I'm a little sore from the last couple days. I need a smooth track. Yeah, I got out of the trailer this morning, was like stretching, and when it hurts that bad, it's not a good thing.
I'm tired. Rode a team race yesterday, my arm's pumped up. I'm worse. I don't even know if I can pull it off today. Yeah, I think so. My hands aren't, but I am. My hands got a little bit blistered up yesterday, and hopefully they stay together today. We'll see. I mean, it's just good atmosphere and good fun, swapping over every lap and just pinning it and having fun. So we didn't win yesterday, but teamed up with Sleater today and hopefully have another good day.
It's tough because you have no idea where you are, because there's so many different classes out there at the same time. But I didn't realize how many of the really, really fast guys were in the extreme sports class, like people that, haven't done their sport in 10 years or whatever.
I got a decent start. Like I said, I came around about 5th that first lap, and we just put our heads down and worked hard. And Sean, I think, made up a lot of time on his first lap.
When we were little kids and we first started doing this, our dads who were racing, they used to have to ride double the last lap. And so we just figure, let's just do it. So we rode double the last lap, and it was pretty entertaining because I've laughed the whole time.
The coup de grace is the final death blow of the weekend. That's a long race. We're not talking an enduro or desert race or anything like that. That's flat out, hour and a half on a motocross track, just going for it.
The Lucas Oil Motorsports Hour is brought to you by Team Lucas, taking your company's marketing to the finish line. Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. And by K&N, the world's best air filter. The Lucas Oil Motorsports Hour is brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. The Coup de Grace race, the final race of the weekend and the ultimate test of the survival of the fittest. After 3 long days of riding hard on the brutal Pala track, the riders come together one more time to face the ultimate challenge and win the ultimate prize. The Coup de Grace race, complete with the Le Mans start and pit stops, is just that, survival. Taking place on the roughest track conditions Pala has to offer, each rider lines up to face the hour-and-a-half long race alone.
It was our second year, and we needed a race to kind of end it all. So we came up with the coup de grace. That means final death blow. When we first started out, it was 2.5 hours long. People were tired after the weekend, so they were getting a little sloppy, so we changed it to 2 hours. And now we're only down to about an hour and a half. But an hour-and-a-half motocross race, that's a long race. We're not talking an enduro or desert race or anything like that. That's flat out, hour and a half on a motocross track, just going for it.
I mean, to do the coup de grace, you have the guys who are in the top like 10 who are really fast pros who actually try and do well. For me, like for Luke and my dad and everybody else, we just try and make it and just, you know. I mean, my dad, I saw him like 3/4 of the way through the race, and we just rode the rest of the race together, cross the finish line together, and just, you know, have fun.
This year, my favorite memory is Riley Harper with his open face helmet, like in the middle of the coup de grace. Like, I passed him like a couple times, and he had to be eating so many rocks and pebbles.
I wasn't even gonna do it. Luke just convinced me. And we have matching sparkly 3/4 face helmets. So he convinced me, of course, to do it. So we both wore our 3/4 sparkly helmets just to mess around. And took off dead last. And I don't know where I ended up, but we passed a lot of guys. We rode the whole time, like, you know, pretty on it. So it's fun.
I just had to, like, it just made me lose my train of thought, because I'm thinking, what is he thinking, man? Like, it's gnarly. I don't care how good you are, how slow you go, if you stay out of the way, like, you're still going to eat some rocks. So, Riley, I guess that's why you're a stuntman.
You know, you never know how it's going to start, and it was kind of pandemonium, but my KTM is electric start, so that totally helped me out, and I got an awesome start. Just kind of paced it for a while, and I'm trying to get in the groove because it's so long. That's an awesome way to finish the weekend by winning, and it feels good. I'm covered in dirt, tired, and I'll sleep good tonight, so that's always cool. Day in the Dirt's an awesome race. It's, you know, it just combines the whole family atmosphere, tons of fun, and if you want to get a lot of riding in, you know, it's not like your typical motocross race where you go 3-4 laps. This is the real deal, a lot of good people, and an awesome atmosphere.
And it's a one-of-a-kind event. It's a killer vibe with all the people, and everybody's cool, everybody's having a good time, and it's something you can't miss. So I definitely recommend coming and roosting it up in whatever class you got, they got them all, and get your butts out here. I'd do it again if I had the chance tomorrow. My body wouldn't like me, but oh well.
With a birthday to celebrate, Andrew Short goes home happy. After a demanding 3 days of racing, fun, and enjoying the party, the weekend comes to a close. Though exhausted, Troy Lee and Kenny Alexander will without a doubt be back at it, planning next year's Party in the Dirt. Through trying competition, the legend lives on. Enthusiasts, fans, superstars all alike each share one thing in common: the love of the sport. The love to ride, the love to race, and the love to party unites athletes, film stars, and dirt bike fanatics over the course of 3 days to learn and to live a day in the dirt.